Following Achilles' ruthless victory over Hector and the desecration of his body, Troy was plunged into despair. This video explores the tragic, inevitable final destiny of Greece's greatest hero. For days, the humiliation of Hector's corpse continued. Achilles' grief had morphed into an unchecked rage and dark obsession, an act so extreme it offended the gods and shattered the bounds of honor. Displeased by this constant mutilation, the Olympian gods intervened. Zeus commanded the return of Hector's body, sending a divine mandate to remind Achilles of the laws of human decency. Bearing a heavy ransom, the aged King Priam journeyed alone into the heart of the enemy camp. It was a perilous, life-risking mission to reclaim his son's body, driven by a father's love. The god Hermes secretly guided the old king, cloaking his presence from the watchful eyes of the Greek guards. It was a miraculous display of divine mercy during a time of deep sorrow. In a shocking moment, Priam appeared defenseless before Achilles. Kneeling, the king kissed the hands of his son's killer, pleading, "Think of your own father and have pity on me." Staring at the pleading king, Achilles was struck by the image of his own aging father. The rage dissolved, and the two greatest enemies of the age wept together, sharing their common humanity. With his heart finally softened, Achilles returned Hector's body and promised a 12-day truce for the funeral rites. In this act of grace, the legendary killer began to reclaim his own humanity. The entire city of Troy erupted in mourning as they received their protector. The funeral was a heart-wrenching, solemn farewell to the greatest hero the city had ever known. The war, however, was not over. Penthesilea, the legendary Amazon queen, arrived to bolster the Trojan defenses. Her arrival brought a new, fierce wave of terror to the battlefield. A fierce duel ensued between the queen and Achilles, resulting in another victory for the Greek hero. Yet upon seeing her face, Achilles was struck with a sudden, profound sorrow. The slaughter continued as Memnon, king of Ethiopia and son of the dawn goddess Eos, arrived to aid Troy. His presence ensured that the blood-soaked sands of Troy would see no peace. Achilles and Memnon clashed in a battle of immortals. Though Achilles achieved another staggering victory, the triumph felt hollow, unable to stop the dark fate closing in around him. Decades earlier, the goddess Thetis had sought to make her son Achilles immortal. She prepared a sacred ritual, but in her desperation, a single, fateful detail remained overlooked. By dipping him into the river Styx, Thetis forged an indestructible warrior. But because she held him by his heel, that one spot never touched the divine waters, leaving him with a hidden, tragic flaw. This hidden vulnerability remained the only weakness of Greece's most invincible force. It became the mythological origin of the Achilles heel, a timeless symbol reminding us that even the most powerful figures harbor a fatal flaw. Paris, a prince known more for his beauty than his skill, loosed a desperate arrow into the fray. Guided by the vengeful hand of Apollo, the arrow found an impossible trajectory, proving that even the strongest can be struck down by the weak. The poisoned shaft pierced his hidden weakness with divine precision. In an instant, the terror of Troy collapsed, fulfilling the ancient prophecy that he would meet his tragic end on Trojan soil. Unprecedented shockwaves ripped through the Greek camp as Thetis and her sisters emerged to mourn the fallen demigod. A bitter feud over his legendary armor threatened to tear the remaining generals apart. With both Hector and Achilles gone, the Greeks realized brute force would not breach Troy's walls. Survival now demanded absolute cunning, setting the stage for Odysseus' masterpiece of deception, the Trojan horse.